The air in my living room was thick with the scent of stagnant air and now, the heavy metallic stench of embarrassment radiating from the leasing office staff. Toby, the one holding the network tester, looked like he wanted to dissolve into the floorboards. Ms. Dickerson, he stammered, his voice cracking. We seem to have made a grave error in our assessment. The door to the hallway stood slightly ajar. I could hear the rhythmic tapping of high heels. Janice Gentry. She had been waiting for this moment. She had undoubtedly been loitering right outside, expecting the leasing office to drag me out in handcuffs or at the very least hand me an eviction notice. I didn't wait for Toby to finish his apology. I walked to the door and pulled it wide open. Janice was standing there, a smirk plastered on her face, phone held high as if she were about to live stream my humiliation to the group chat. Behind her stood Frank from 502 and a few other neighbors, their faces set in grim judgment. Well, Janice demanded, not even bothering to look at me, her eyes fixed on the leasing staff. Is she evicted? Does she have her stuff out on the curb yet? My signal has been garbage all day, and I'm not actually a Ms. Gentry. Toby interrupted, his voice tighter than a piano wire. He stepped out of the apartment, his face a mask of awkward, sweating discomfort. It appears there has been a significant misunderstanding. Apartment 601 is not leaching. They are the primary source. Janice stopped mid-sentence. Her smile curdled. What are you talking about? The router in 601, the female staff member added, her eyes darting between Janice and the other neighbors. It's a commercial-grade fiber line. It's been active and prepaid for 3 years. It's the network that this entire building has been connected to. The hallway went deathly silent. Frank's jaw dropped. Wait, you mean we were on her Wi-Fi? It's an open network, Toby explained, pointing back into my living room. The default settings were never changed. You all have been using her bandwidth. The bandwidth she's been paying for. The bandwidth you've all been complaining about. Janice looked like she had been slapped. No, that's impossible. My router, I set up my own network. You set up a password, sure. I stepped forward, my voice cool and cutting through the tension. But your devices were still latching onto the strongest signal, Janice. Emerald B6. You've been streaming your Netflix and running your home security on my dime for weeks. Maybe months. I reached back, my hand hovering over the dusty router on the ledge. The green light blinked, steady and rhythmic, a heartbeat of data feeding 25 devices. Is this the one? I asked, looking at the blinking light. Janice's face flushed a deep, violent crimson. Stop it. Don't you dare touch that. I didn't blink. I gripped the power cord. Wait, Frank yelled, stepping forward, his voice losing its arrogant edge. My daughter has an online exam in 20 minutes, if you cut that, and my husband is in the middle of a conference call. Marilyn from 605 shrieked, her hand flying to her mouth. I looked at them one by one. I remembered the night I walked in with trash bags, the silence in the elevator, the stolen packages, the formal complaints filed against me for being a thief when they were the ones picking my pocket, digitally speaking. It's not my concern, I said, and with a swift, decisive pull, I yanked the plug. The green light vanished. In the hallway, the silence was absolute. But inside the apartments, I could hear it. Clunk. Across the floor, smart TVs shut off with a mechanical click. My stream, someone shouted from 603. Internet's gone, a man roared from 502. The building went dark, not the power, but the digital lifeblood they had been siphoning from me. It was a blackout of their own making. I turned back to Janice. She looked like she was about to explode. You did that on purpose. You vindictive. I paid for it. I countered, leaning against the doorframe. It's mine. I decided I didn't want to share it with someone who treats their neighbors like criminals. You'll hear from my lawyer, she screamed, her voice bordering on hysteria. I'll have you evicted for harassment. I'll file another report with the tenant association, please, I said, my voice